Okay, so hopefully you thought that the photovoltaic cell video was interesting. You're definitely going to be talking and seeing more of the photovoltaic cell in the future. So today we're talking about this law of conservation of energy and energy transformations. So in that photovoltaic cell example, hopefully you saw a few examples when energy was transformed from one form to another form of energy. So that happens all the time, and today in the notes we're just going to talk about that briefly, and then you're going to do some practice with identifying how energy transforms from one form to another. Alright, so the first key thing you have to understand today is the law of conservation of energy. So we talked about the law of conservation of matter in chemistry. And that was the idea that matter cannot be created or destroyed. It's just changed from one form of matter to another. So from a solid to a liquid, or a liquid to a gas, or one form to the next. So combining two chemicals and making a new chemical. All we're doing is changing the form of matter. We're not making something new from out of thin air. So the same thing applies with energy. So in the world, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just changes form. So like it says here, it may change forms, but the amount of energy on the planet stays the same. So you're going to write that on your notes sheet in the law of conservation of energy section. Okay, so it's not created nor destroyed. It's just changing from one form of energy to the next. You're also going to write this in the law of conservation of energy section on your notes sheet. So when energy is changed from one form to the next, we call it an energy transformation. So energy gets transformed into different forms all the time. So all that means is that it's changing from one form of energy to another. So let's think of an example of turning a lamp on. So a lamp is plugged into the wall and you turn the switch on to turn it on. What's happening is the electrical energy from the socket is turning into thermal energy, so heat coming from the lamp, and electromagnetic energy, so heat waves and light waves coming from the lamp. So all that's happening is energy is just changing from electrical energy into these other forms of energy, thermal and electromagnetic energy. No new energy is created. The amount of electrical energy that's going into the lamp equals the amount of thermal and electromagnetic energy that is coming out of the lamp once you turn it on. All that's happening is it's changing from one form of energy to another. Okay, that point's really key, so feel free to just take some seconds with this and understand that. Okay, so let's go back to that photovoltaic cell example from the video. So a photovoltaic cell is like a solar cell. It's taking solar energy, so sun energy, and changing it into electrical energy. So this is a really recent and kind of used more frequently example of energy transformations and the law of conservation of energy. So you're going to write down this part right here. Photovoltaic cells transform, so they change, electromagnetic energy from the sun. So those are those light waves of energy right here in the picture, electromagnetic energy. So they're taking in that energy and they're changing it into electrical energy, the energy of moving electrical charges. Okay? So that's the transformation that's occurring in those solar cells, in those photovoltaic cells. Okay? We call this way of making power, of making electrical power, solar power. Okay, so right here, if we were going to use it to turn on a lamp, we would be changing it not only to electrical energy, but also to electromagnetic energy again, which is the light waves coming from the lamp. Okay, so these again are just continuous continuous energy transformations. Energy is just always being changed from one form to the next.